Well, it's been 2 years since I purchased my Kindle Scribe. I bought it in 2023. It's now 2025. And I wanted to give you kind of my take on what it's been like owning this Scribe. First of all, simplicity. The Amazon Kindle Scribe is very simple to use. There's no apps, there's no notifications, no sound, no distractions. It's a pure reader, and that's all you're getting is you're just reading from this thing, and it's in black and white. There's no color, there's no uh, whiz bang or any of that. It's just a very simple, dedicated, pure reader, and because of that, it's very simple. So I can just read on this thing and not be disturbed by an alert or a notification that then distracts me like I would if I was reading from an iPad or phone or even a computer, which I hate doing, reading from a computer. This is the closest I've found to reading a book is from this. I'm sure there's other readers too. There's the regular Kindle White, but I like the size of this, and I'll explain why. Because the simplicity of it is it's easy to read. And you can adjust the font. You can make them really big so that it's easy to read. Here's some text that you can look at. It's very if you have poor eyesight and you don't want to look like reading with glasses, you can just adjust the font and make it big or small. So number one, simplicity. And what follows after that is the next thing, which is reliability. This thing has not locked up in the 2 years that I've used it. And what do I use it for? Well, I use it as a dedicated reader, but I also do a lot of teaching and preaching from it. Every week I teach or preach in my local church, and this has never locked up in the reader because it's a Kindle reader. It's just as if you're flipping pages. And so the functionality of it is very, very limited in that it's just meant for you to flip pages and read. That's it. And so when software is written to be limited in scope, it tends to do very well. But when you have software that has to do a lot of different things like swiping, underlining, and all this other stuff, it tends to be a bit buggy when there's a lot that's expected for the software to do. It's multi-function, where here it's single function. It's just acting as a reader. So it's very reliable. I do have the iPad Pro, the 12.9, the big one. And that one's good, but the battery life on that, and also there's moments when some apps hang, so I have to kill the app and then restart the app. That's probably the best case, but then sometimes the iPad itself will sometimes hang altogether. That's rare. I'll be honest, that's rare, but it has happened. So this is very reliable. And one of the ways it's also reliable is when you're taking it outdoors. There's no glare, as I mentioned before. I've preached from this thing indoors, outdoors. I've done funerals, a wedding, and this most recent wedding, the sun was coming right at me, and it wasn't affected at all. I could read it without any glare. Full sun, blue skies, and it was like reading paper. I loved it. It's really great for outdoors, and for that, it's very reliable and great tool for reading outdoors or indoors in the dark in full bright light. And the third thing is versatility. When I first got it, I was using it primarily for teaching and then reading Kindle books. And now it seems like Amazon has improved the formatting of their books. So when you import books into this thing, you can now actually have ability to write in the margins. So let's see if I can show you. On the top right, there's that little icon where you can click on it. And if you click on it, it produces this margin. You see that margin? And in that margin, I can write some text. This is a note. So I can write that on see if you could see that. I can write a note in the margin, and then when I click the X, it saves it. And so now if I ever want to see what I wrote on this page, I have all that space if I want to draw something or whatever. It allows you to have more space to add your notes inside, as if you have this super wide margin on any page on your Kindle. And the usual underlining, highlighting, and even adding notes within and within the pages itself is great. So very versatile. And also the other thing that I like, this may have been around, but I just started using this feature, which is, I love it, is that there's a plugin for your Chrome browser. I think it works with Chrome, maybe Safari and other browsers, but you can actually import web pages and import them as a Kindle book. So let's say you're reading an article, and you want to read it, but you don't want to read it off your computer because it's like a long article or whatever. And so there's things that I've imported on here from different web pages that I visited. Here's one from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, Dispensational Covenantal. That was an article. I imported it and immediately put the whole document in and formats it really well, like as if it's a Kindle book. So it doesn't import it as a PDF where it's fixed. When you expand it, the whole thing expands. It's actually into pub format or Mobi format. I don't know exactly the format, but you can expand it and the margins are right and all of that. So it's really, really good for that. So you can just import books and from web pages, and it's been great to use because I read from it more and more. And as I read articles, I don't read from my phone. I don't ever read from my phone. It's always from this. This device has been great. And the lead, or I don't know what this material is on the stylus. You can replace them. In the 2 years that I've had it, I think I've only replaced it maybe twice. I think that's it, twice. And so what do I use this for? Well, being in the church, there's times when I'm taking a lot of notes, whether that's on Sundays, whether that's prayer requests from people, midweek Bible study. I'm always writing prayer requests, so that's at least once a week. And then on Sunday, that's twice a week. So maybe I'm not pressing really hard, but I think I've only replaced it twice. And so it's got a lot of mileage on this tip for the stylus, because it does slowly wear down as you're writing. And so you can buy the tips for it. I don't remember what they cost, but they're very inexpensive from what I remember. So Amazon Kindle Scribe is great if you're a pastor, if you're a preacher, if you're a teacher, and you're using it as a dedicated reader preaching from, and you're always in the back of your mind wondering, man, it might hang, it might lock up, it might freeze. I don't ever feel that with this. It seems very, very stable. And the one example that I can remember is when one of the keynote speakers at the Last Shepherds Conference, I think his name is Josiah Grotham or something like that. He was giving one of the keynotes, and his iPad locked up completely. And so he said, "Well, I was afraid of this. I always wonder if this would happen." And so he pulled out a paper backup of his entire sermon. And so that was able to save him and help him. He did a great job expositing John 6, I believe it was. But, the thought of having a paper backup, I don't think of that too much anymore. I did that in the beginning when I started teaching and preaching from this, but now it's just been rock solid that I've never had to really do that. So Amazon Kindle Scribe, again, it just gets better and better. This is the standard one, 32 gigabytes. I think I paid, it was on sale. I think I paid like $250 or something like that for it, and which is a fraction of the cost of the iPad Pro, which is I think over $1,000. That I didn't buy with my own money. I was gifted that. So, and I do prefer this one, hands down, more than my iPad, because it's just reliable. So simplicity, reliability, versatility. Those are the three things that I love about the Amazon Kindle Scribe. If you get a chance, go ahead and pick one up if you can.